Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony. This show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that this guy seems to step on. Today we're going to be discussing, should you edit and master your work for auditions? Okay, we're going to talk about that because the answer is yes and no, and it depends on the situation. So we're going to talk about that real quick. Make sure, as always, if you want, like and subscribe this video, share it with someone. Also hit that bell notification so that you get notified when I do post videos. Also, it's a great time, I think, beginning of February, get over to VO Journey and check out our academy as well as the courses that we offer, because we do offer a lot of courses a la carte, whether you're trying to get better at voice acting or you're trying to grow yourself on a platform or you're trying to learn your DAW. We've got a bunch of a la carte courses over there as well at vojourney.com under training, so check us out. All right, so today we're talking about, should you edit and master your work when you submit for auditions? So there's a lot of, I guess, opinions going around about this, and they're all right. I mean, there is no hard, fast rule either way. There's best practices that I think people have learned over time, and that's kind of what I want to share with you. So first off, I'm going to give you kind of situations in which I would edit and master my work and times where I don't find it necessary. So first and foremost, I think a big part of this also is depending upon your space and equipment. So what that means is that we're all starting from somewhere, right? So when I started with a $40 microphone, a blue Yeti, a snowball, and I had one layer of packing blankets and a hobo fort that I created in a room that had hardwood floors and nothing on the walls and basically a big square. So you can imagine there was still noise and room tone in there. There was bounce, and the $40 microphone, it was not the best. It was a start. The reason why I bring that up is because I needed to do whatever I could to make that audio sound better at the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? And to send that audio raw, and the raw audio I had at that time, to an audition, to anywhere, would have not been the best thing for me to do. It would have really decreased my chances with the best chances I had with that microphone, which wasn't very good. But the point is that equipment and the sound that I was able to produce meant that I needed to make sure that I sent the best quality sound I could to people. The equipment I have today, it's quite different. I can send a raw file to anyone and they would think it was pretty much fully done, because I have a $5,000 microphone now. I have in there I built an entire space from scratch in my home. So as many of you guys know, so it's quite a different scenario than when I first started. So first you have to take a look at your equipment, your space, and what you have. Do you need to run it through, like a voice denoise or a spectral denoise? Do you need to run, do you have a lot of mouth clicks? Do you know what I mean? Do you have a lot of that stuff that, is going to turn people off when they listen to it? So that's an important thing to consider. Now, the scenarios besides that one, all right? When you are doing a lot of auditioning, especially for commercial work, there's a lot of auditioning. And if you have your space set up, yeah, it's easier for you to pump out auditions and not have to fully edit your work and master your work. Okay? And I think that, again, pointing out that it's important to note that this is also personal preference. Okay? But if you're sending work and it doesn't feel like, like you're listening to it and there's mouth noise and there's stuff like that, what you want to do rather is find a way to go a lot faster with your processing. So for example, I do, two things in the beginning. I always do that after I record. I do an EQ and a single band compressor, a light single band compressor. Then I go into cleanup and I just do a mouth declick and a voice denoise. I use Isotope, right? RX standard. And that is it. I may remove a breath or two, but I don't do anything else with my audio. So that's literally 2 buttons I push on my keyboard because I have them hotkeyed. And then I listen back through it to see if I like it, and then I send it. So that's extremely fast. It does not take me a long time. I think what happens is a lot of people get caught up thinking, well, I don't if I do edit, it's just going to take me a long time. But we want to reduce that time by a lot. Do you see what I mean? So it shouldn't take you long to edit your work, especially short auditions. The time, but again, if you have a really dialed in space and your sound that you produce in raw audio sounds great, yeah, that might be an option for you. You don't need to do a lot of editing or mastering to send in your auditions. However, again, what I find is people are doing that and then they're sending in work that is extreme, like they're not editing at all, meaning they're not going through and listening for these like talk, 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 like these big breaths. They're not editing for mouth clicks. They're not, they're doing multiple takes and they're not editing them out. Like, it still needs, because remember, if I'm listening, I'm casting director because, we're casting over at Academy Voices, academyvoices.com. That's our place where we are getting voice actors work, our talent agency right now for audiobooks. And, at Academy Voices, we've hired hundreds of voice actors now. And, we hear sometimes where voice actors do not send us edited stuff, and it's very evident. And what it sounds like, so the worry for me is I don't know if they can edit it. And we don't currently offer engineering services to the point where we're engineering your work, so you just send it in raw, right? So that means I want to make sure that you can put together a finished piece of audio. Okay, but if you're in a scenario where you are sending audio to a studio that has an engineer and they want it raw, well, then that makes sense for you to send it raw. But there's different scenarios. So I've always, in my personal business, I've always sent audio that is done, ready to go for someone to listen to. So they get the perfect sound of what it actually will be and the finish. But again, and please leave the comments below about what you do in your particular business, but this is highly up to you and how you want to and what you've had the best results on. There is no hard, fast, rule book somewhere that says you must do it this way and you must do it that way. I knew a voice actor. She does about literally 400 to 500 voiceovers a month. She's a super seller, and she on Fiverr, and she literally told me she just literally records, and sends the raw file. She doesn't do editing or anything to the people, and that's how she gets done. She does her stuff, so she's doing so many. But again, if you, because I've seen it, you see her space, you see what she does. I mean, you're talking she doesn't have to do much because her raw file sounds like a fully done file. So that's the trade-off, right? Please note that if you're going to send raw file, that's good. Just make sure it still sounds good before you send, like you're sending it. Okay. And also, when we say raw, I do want to put the caveat being that do not, when you're sending raw audio, make sure that it's not like raw when it comes to your performance in there. Meaning, don't have multiple, don't be like, I'm talking, oh, I made a mistake, you know what I mean? And you start over again right at that point. And so don't, it needs to still sound like, you started and went from beginning to end, without stopping or messing up or doing something like that, right? And it needs to, so that's why I always say the easiest way to look at this is produce a finished product, but let's do our very best to make a condensed process so that it doesn't take you a long time to finish it. Does that make sense? But so I hope this has helped. And again, it's always up to you and what you do with your business. But in my particular situation, what I tell people is send work to people because you don't know what they're working with. They might not have an engineer, so they're expecting your stuff to be fully completed. Send the best of your ability, completed auditions that sound as best as they could. Okay. When in doubt, again, too, because you might need to know, does your raw sound good or whatever? That's why it's really important to be a part of a community. Join VO Journey Academy. Be a part of people that can give you feedback, that can help you with this. You're getting the right knowledge on this, on how to do this and how to do it quickly. Could be, the difference between you being able to take on a lot of work and not a lot of work. All right, I hope this topic has helped you today. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Head over to VO Journey Academy. Check us out for training, anything that you need to grow your voiceover business, especially joining VO Journey Academy. It's only $10 to start. It's a great opportunity, and check out our training courses. I think I always forget to mention that we have a lot of a la carte training courses too that you can just buy in case whatsoever you need to learn. So check that out. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye.